start off by saying is that parents, we love you and we know that you love your children. But in the process of trying to love on them real good, you make some horrible mistakes sometimes. Um, one of the things we have to remember is that an inheritance is a gift. It is not an entitlement. It is not a right. It is a gift and therefore a privilege. And many parents try to leave things for their children in the hope that those gifts help them to navigate the next levels of life and move a step ahead.
Mm-hmm.
However, they may make some mistakes or just oversights that impact on those children thereafter, Pearson. Serious
Yes.
oversights. Um, So let me just give probably about 3 pointers on things
Sure.
that are grievous evils under the sun.
So where do we start?
Oh my gosh. All right, so let's start with those persons who have arrears, land tax arrears,
Mm-hmm.
owe on water bill, this type of thing. And they always figure that they'll tackle it tomorrow. But guess what?
Yes.
You die today.
Yes. Yes.
Your child is now left with that. Um, I have seen persons with over $100,000 in land tax arrears.
Wow.
And because it's multiple properties, the children who then inherited those properties, want to make their parents proud, but then 3/4 of their annual salary is now spent trying to repay those bills,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
So that they can make decisions to sell the properties and that type of thing. So that's one point. Those land tax arrears, I know it's tough, but try to make payment plans within your lifetime to tackle those issues before they get out of hand.
So if you're going to pass on the property, just try to, as far as possible, clear the debt. Don't burden the children with the debt associated with that property. That's the advice there, right?
Correct,
Okay.
correct. And adding to that, continuing on the subject of debt, there are those parents who have multiple properties. They have felt so good that, yes, I've achieved the apartment complex,
Mm-hmm.
the 72 acres of land, the
Mm-hmm.
3 houses. They're excited. But guess what? Each of those comes with a land tax bill.
Yes.
So when Georgia inherits 5 properties and she's excited at the hearing, yes, I'm
Yes.
blessed. Then she realizes once again that the total land tax bill for those properties is 85,000 per year.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Where is she going to get that from?
Yes.
And unfortunately, so in sometimes in leaving properties for children, you may have to also say, you know what, this bank account here is for you, and it has in more than enough to help pay off for the next 3 years, at least
Right.
until they're able to settle and sell or rent out property.
But that's Georgia, the one child. When you have more than one child, however, and everybody, you want everyone to share somehow.
Parents, listen to me. I am about you. I'm about to help you. I am about to leave your legacy intact. Okay, so you have 6 children, okay, and you want to do what's noble after death. So you decide that you're leaving your one house to your 6 children. You thought it was a great idea. They're gonna have to work together with this one. Don't do it. Don't do it. Why? Well, Oliver and Joey live overseas. Okay? So they're like, yeah, yeah, let's save the property. But guess what? They live overseas.
Mm-hmm.
Sally wants to rent it out. Susie and Shanna say, sell it. And in spite of all the desires that everybody has, Jeffrey, who's the eldest, he's gonna try to tackle it for a while, but guess what? All the money coming out of his pocket.
Mm-hmm.
When he goes to sell it, the ones who want to rent it out get vexed. When he
Yes.
tries to rent it, the ones who want the money from the sale get vexed.
Yes.
And poor Jeffrey is saddled paying the water bill, the light bill, the garden maintenance, and nobody is helping him. Parents, don't you dare do it.
Mm-hmm.
What I would say is if you do decide to leave a property to multiple children, leave specific instructions. So if you're leaving it to them, say, sweethearts, I love you. I would prefer if you sell this and divide the money equally between you.
Right.
Or please go ahead and rent this out, and the rent put in the account to keep the property alive and to help out, Sheila, who's the youngest, go through college. But
Right.
leave instructions because it usually ends up with multiple children that one person is saddled with the burden.
Wow. So don't burden the children with that, parent. Write it down and leave the instructions. All
Yes.
right. But then, there are times when we figure, I need to manage the mortgage. And so I can't do it necessarily on my own, but I also want to be able to maintain the legacy for my child as well. So let's add them to the mortgage. What do you think about that? I see you
Once
have a
again, you say you love your child, you say you love your child, but that action is a little questionable. Let me explain. You see, you don't see the long-term repercussions of this, but I do. So your boy, your boy, John, he meets the woman of his life, wants to get married and start a family. But guess what? He's bonded to you.
Yes.
And you also have 20 years to go in the mortgage. He's on your mortgage with you because you knew that you needed two people to make this happen when you were buying the house. There's no daddy in the picture. But John working, goody. John and I, mommy dearest, we going to get this mortgage together. So now when John gets married and his honey is like, baby, let's start a family. Yeah, let's. He knows that he can't even start because he is tied to
To
that
mommy's
property over
mortgage,
there.
yes.
And I'm seeing this a lot. I'm seeing this a lot where children are brought into the mix to help with property decisions, but then it inhibits them from proceeding on. And it's tough because in one situation, for example, one person isn't going to be able to uh, finish making payments until she is perhaps late 40s. Then where does that put her in terms of getting her dream house and so forth?
Yes.
So these are things that you have to be cognizant of. You never think of them initially because you're thinking of yourself and good, I could acquire this thing now, but what are the long-term repercussions?
Wow. So there's so many things as a parent you need to be mindful of. Not to leave the house with a lot of debt for your child to carry because it makes it difficult for them. Sometimes to divvy up who is responsible for what. Also, with more than one child, leave your clear instructions as to what to do with this property so that they themselves are not also saddled with that. And then to be cautious about adding your child to your mortgage because you're also affecting their long-term benefits when it comes for them setting themselves up to have that mortgage as well. So great advice, Agent Sharita. Thank you.